America can no longer sustain business as usual. Protectionism has been derided in the media, in the halls of Congress, in the White House, and at trade ministries around the world. It is the official dirty word of international trade, and everyone seems to be doing all that they can to avoid it at any cost. In the run-up to the April 2nd G20 summit in London, England, the director of the World Trade Organization, Pascal Lamy, called upon the world's economic powers to officially denounce protectionism once and for all. At the conclusion of the G20 summit, his prayers had been answered. World leaders made many promises and commitments at their meeting, but one of the most important was their $250 billion commitment to support international trade over the next 2 years, and their declaration of a fight against protectionism. Lamy's plea came on the heels of 2 reports showing that international trade was on the decline for the first time in 25 years. One report, issued by the WTO, predicted that the volume of international trade would drop 9% this year. In addition, another report by the World Bank announced that 17 of 20 members of the G20 had erected trade barriers in response to the global recession. Lamy described this form of protectionism as the low-intensity variety, because nearly all the measures were still legal under WTO guidelines. However, Lamy believes that there is a danger of an incremental buildup of trade barriers, which could eventually strangle international commerce. Others, however, believe that the move away from an unsustainable form of international trade is inevitable. AFL-CIO President John Sweeney said that the need for change goes much deeper, and that there is a real risk that when the economy begins to improve, there will be an attempt to return to the failed policies of the past. As he put it, there can be no business as usual. The idea of change was also championed by the International Trade Union Confederation, which believes that this particular crisis offers an opportunity to completely overhaul and retool international trade policy. ITUC Secretary Guy Ryder said that if the G20 in London only agree on what he calls half measures, they will have failed. It is their responsibility to replace the failed economic liberalization of the past with a new direction for the future. As we all know, the G20 summit did not come to grips with the true difficulties and dangers of our economic state, nor did they alter their framework or their direction for future growth. After all that has happened in the past year, after all of the campaigning and political jargon from all sides of the spectrum and all nations around the globe, nothing has been fundamentally changed. Lori Wallach, the director of the Global Trade Watch division of Public Citizen, said that G20 members dropped the ball on that front by failing to effectively tackle truly protectionist measures and instead focusing their attentions on trivialities. Not only that, but the agreements reached at the summit will only work to further undermine the international economy by allowing the same risky business practices that led to this crisis to continue in the future. The G20 either needed to come to a consensus that it would stop global protectionism, which is practiced by most of its members, for the sake of greater good, or they could have agreed that protectionism should be allowed in certain cases to get a country back on its feet. For a long time, the argument was that China needed to phase into capitalism. It needed its protections. Well, the Chinese don't need them anymore. Oddly, the one nation in the world which truly needs to protect its economy is the one which has the most to lose: the United States. The G20 had a chance to change the scope of international political economy. Instead, at the behest of the World Trade Organization and others, they dragged their collective feet and will likely let this crisis continue. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington. For more on this and other related topics, please log on to economyincrisis.org.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.